Welcome, fellow history enthusiasts, to Historical Highway. Today we'll be embarking on a fascinating journey through the complete history of one of the world's most captivating civilizations, ancient Egypt. With its towering pyramids, enigmatic pharaohs, and an empire that left a legacy for millennia. The story of Egypt is filled with awe-inspiring grandeur, monumental achievements, and a touch of mystery. So, imagine yourself standing along the banks of the mighty Nile River, around 5000 BCE, where early settlers first began cultivating the fertile land. It was here that the story of Egypt truly began. But the Nile wasn't just a river, it was the very lifeblood of the nation. Flowing like an artery through the desert, it transformed barren lands into fertile fields, providing food, transportation, and even a sense of spiritual connection. This magnificent waterway was the cradle of Egyptian civilization, shaping its destiny from the very beginning. The Nile's predictable flooding cycles allowed farmers to grow abundant crops, making Egypt one of the wealthiest and most stable regions of the ancient world. It's no wonder that early settlers formed small agricultural communities along its banks, which would eventually unite into powerful city-states. Over time, these city-states would merge, creating the very foundation for one of the most extraordinary civilizations in history. But who ruled over this early civilization? At the pinnacle of Egyptian society was the pharaoh, a god-king who wielded absolute power. The pharaoh wasn't just a political ruler. He was considered a living deity, responsible for maintaining balance, or mayat, in the world. Below the pharaoh were the nobles and priests, managing land and religious temples, followed by skilled artisans and traders. And finally, the farmers and laborers, who made up the bulk of society. This social structure remained a defining feature of Egyptian life for centuries. The story of Egypt truly begins with the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BCE, under the rule of the legendary King Narmer. Often identified as Menes, the first pharaoh of a united Egypt, Narmer's reign marked the beginning of the early dynastic period, circa 3100 to 2686 BCE. This era set the stage for a succession of powerful dynasties that would establish the foundations of Egypt's cultural and political identity. During this period, the capital was established at Memphis, strategically located at the juncture of Upper and Lower Egypt. As we move into the Old Kingdom circa 2686 to 2181 BCE, we enter the era known as the Age of the Pyramids. It was during this time that some of Egypt's most iconic structures were built, including the famous Step Pyramid of Djoser, designed by the brilliant architect Imhotep around 2667 BCE. This was the first monumental stone structure in history, paving the way for the more elaborate pyramids that followed. And of course, there is the Great Pyramid of Giza, completed around 2560 BCE, constructed as a grand tomb for Pharaoh Khufu. Standing at an astonishing height of 481 feet, this monumental structure was a testament to the Egyptians' mastery of engineering and their profound belief in the afterlife. But building such a colossal monument was no small feat. Thousands of laborers toiled for decades, moving massive limestone blocks with simple tools and sheer human effort. Egypt's history is more than just grand pyramids and powerful kings. It's also a tale of resilience and adaptation. As we leave the Old Kingdom behind, we enter the first intermediate period, circa 2181 to 2055 BCE, a time of political turmoil and social upheaval. Power fragmented, local rulers vied for control, and Egypt fell into disarray. Yet, it was during this time that new ideas took root, leading to the eventual rise of the Middle Kingdom. The Middle Kingdom, circa 2055 to 1650 BCE, often referred to as Egypt's Golden Age, saw the nation reunited and flourishing once more. Pharaohs like Mentuhotep II, circa 2055 to 2004 BCE, restored stability, launching grand building projects and expanding Egypt's borders. Trade with distant lands, such as the Levant and Nubia, brought wealth and exotic goods, while literature and art reached new heights. The pharaohs of this era focused on reclaiming the grandeur of Egypt's past, with renewed emphasis on massive public works and temple construction. This period was not just one of political consolidation, but also cultural revival. The capital shifted to Thebes, and the great temple complexes, such as Karnak, began to take shape. However, this period of prosperity was not to last forever. As the Middle Kingdom waned, a new threat emerged: the Hyksos, a foreign people who invaded around 1650 BCE and established their own rule over Lower Egypt. For almost a century, Egypt was divided once again, with the Hyksos ruling the north and native Egyptian kings holding the south. But the Egyptians were not defeated for long. After years of struggle, a native prince named Amosa I rose up around 1550 BCE, expelled the Hyksos, and inaugurated the new kingdom, Egypt's most powerful and prosperous era. This was the Age of Empire, when Egypt stretched its influence across the Near East, wielding its power like never before. Amosa's reign, circa 1550 to 1525 BCE, marked the start of the 18th dynasty, and his military campaigns not only liberated Egypt, but also set the stage for a period of unprecedented expansion. Legendary pharaohs such as Hatshepsut, circa 1479 to 1458 BCE, Akhenaten, c. 1353 to 1336 BCE, and Ramses II, 1279 to 1213 BCE, led Egypt to its zenith, leaving behind colossal temples and statues that still stand today. Hatshepsut, one of Egypt's few female rulers, defied tradition by assuming the full power of a pharaoh, commissioning monumental projects like her famous mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri. Meanwhile, Akhenaten's radical religious reforms briefly upended centuries of polytheistic worship, before his successor Tutankhamun restored the old gods. Ramses II, known as Ramses the Great, solidified Egypt's empire through military might and diplomatic prowess, even signing the world's first recorded peace treaty with the Hittites after the Battle of Kadesh around 1274 BCE. His reign saw the construction of some of Egypt's most magnificent structures, including the rock-cut temples of Abu Simbel. Yet, no civilization can sustain its peak forever. As internal strife and external threats mounted, Egypt began a slow but inevitable decline during the Third Intermediate Period, circa 1069 to 664 BCE. The great empire fractured, foreign powers seized control, and the once great civilization faded into history. By the time of the Persian conquest in 525 BCE, and later, the arrival of Alexander the Great in 332 BCE, Egypt was a shadow of its former self. But despite its fall, Egypt's legacy endured, influencing countless cultures and inspiring awe in generations to come. So, what lessons can we take from the rise and fall of this magnificent civilization? Perhaps it's a reminder of the fleeting nature of power and the enduring impact of cultural achievements. Or maybe it's a testament to human ingenuity and the desire to leave a mark that transcends time. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the sands of time. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment about what fascinates you most about ancient Egypt, and subscribe to Historical Highway for more captivating stories from the past.